All right, welcome back. We're going to do a couple of things here. First, we're going to test out this media mod that I have on the GoPro and see how it does with the noise of the car. And then also, I'm going to recap the race. And this is more just for my personal record, so I can go back and look and see what I thought. So first of all, this race, it starts by going uphill and not so much on flat roads, which is a good thing because then I don't find it too comfortable to wear these trail running shoes and running along the
About 1 kilometer
roads.
Ahead, an average speed camera route starts.
You'll have to
of 110
use the
kilometers per hour.
neighbor maps. It keeps talking to me in the background, giving me warnings and such. And then
About 500 meters ahead, an average speed camera route
also
starts.
it's more
of
comfortable to
110
run
kilometers per hour.
on the trails or on the paths. So it pretty much starts out that way, which is nice. And but you're also going up right away, so there's not a lot of flat. You're going up, and that's kind of the runnable path. And then I talked quite a bit about the different surfaces going through. Interestingly, were all the railroad ties that had just eroded and been tilted one way or the other. They're, even if they don't look slippery, they're pretty slippery. I suppose the moisture on them or how they just the surface, how they're worn down. And yeah, I think I covered most of that. There's some boardwalk steps going up and down.
Tunnel ahead.
And at one section towards the end there's very steep, again I call it boardwalk, but it's the boards that make the steps that go up. And it's steps and then a flat surface with an incline, and then steps and flat surface with an incline. And there were surfaces where you had to literally be on your feet and your hands to climb up it, and there was some where you had to jump from rock to rock on the side of a cliff. Hopefully I got that in the video. But you definitely end up using poles quite a lot, or powering up it by pushing on your legs, which is definitely a good technique for this trail. So if you have something to put your poles in quickly and be able to pull them back out, that way you can use both methods. After that lunch break stop, you end up pushing real hard going up a road, a very steep road. So it's real nice to have those poles put away and be able to push on your thighs with your upper body. So definitely some upper body strength and endurance would be helpful in those areas. And then on some of the rockier surfaces where they're just big boulders that you're climbing up, that had a little slope to them, it'd been nice to be able to use just that pushing on your legs to get up that. I can see an ambulance in my rearview mirror. He's flashing his lights, his headlights. He's got his top lights going on.
There's a wildlife crossing area.
Right now he's in my lane, but that ambulances usually go over to the passing lane. But maybe because mine has less traffic, and I'm in the driving lane, I'm not in the passing lane. But it's Korea, so who knows? It might not be an ambulance, it might be a tow truck. I don't know, we'll see. What else? Well, he wants me to move out of his way. I'm in the driving lane, so this ambulance is passing everybody in the driving lane instead of the passing lane. I don't know if you'll be able to see that when he comes across here. It's interesting. I've never seen an ambulance in a hurry to get somewhere by going through the driving lane instead of the passing lane. Maybe now he'll want to get over the path. Yep, of course. Now he wants to get in the passing lane. So, get out of his way again. Good grief. They don't have the loudest sirens in the world here. 119 emergency vehicle, ambulance. Yeah, it does say ambulance on it. I don't know.
About 1 kilometer ahead, you will see Hoenn parking area.
It's Korea traffic. And now, in 110 kilometer area, we got cars going 90. Interesting. Anyhow, so definitely some upper body
ahead,
strength, shoulders and chest in order to push on the legs and support yourself. So I would suggest, you know, anybody that wants to do something like that, get up to about 100 push-ups. Repetitive, just pushing, because I think if you have 100 push-ups and you're able to do that where you're pushing on your legs alternately, because every time you bring a leg up, that those muscles get to relax for a moment. I think that should be good. And then but also with that type of motion, your glutes, your butt muscles work really hard, and
tunnel ahead.
So it'd be good to build up some extra muscle strength and endurance in the butt muscles, more than just road running does. I've tried to do that by using a lot of stairs in my running, stairs that are on that hill that I've recorded before, but definitely even more. Of course, if you have a hill like that to run up, then you can just keep running up it and using the hill to train on, but not all of us have that kind of a hill all the time, so we have to supplement. So stair climber for hours and hours, or box steps, doing a lot of box steps, and probably some box steps with some uneven steps. Maybe some steps that are 6 inches, some that are 12 inches, some that are 18 inches, some that are even maybe 24 inches tall, because you know, on these mountains, none of the steps are the same distance apart. Even if they're originally made that way, they're not always going to be that way because of erosion and just wear and tear, whatnot. What else? I didn't wear gloves this time. Gloves would have been good, because there are several places where you're gripping the rocks in order to climb up or down, or gripping trees in order to balance yourself as you're coming down. And then also on this trail, there's a lot of bushes. I think it's the azalea bushes that are over the trail. So your sleeve area and your hands are getting beat up quite a bit by all those different greens, all them that different vegetation. So gloves would be good. I didn't have gloves this time. I did end up tearing away a little piece of one of my fingers because of a piece of brush caught it. I didn't even notice it until I was using my poles, and my pole, because I would change my hand position on the poles, and I noticed that I kind of tore my finger up a little bit. A lot of loose stuff, so make sure your shoes are grippy on the bottom, or you're stable in your feet for coming down on loose sand, gravel, dust. Yeah. What else can I say about it? Definitely don't be afraid to take a moment and take pictures with the peaks on this one. The very last peak we didn't get a picture of because the trail turned before you go all the way up to the top, and that's okay.
About
We were
1
pretty tired by
kilometer
that
ahead,
time.
An average speed camera route ends.
But I think it's the
110
highest of the
kilometers per
peaks,
hour.
and so it'd been all right to go ahead and take a picture at that one, even though it's off trail a little bit. I think
About 500
13
meters
hours
ahead,
is
an
generous for
average
this
speed camera route ends
run.
Of 110 kilometers per hour.
According to last year's run, I think 20%, maybe less than 20% of the people did not finish. And this year was just perfect weather, it's very nice conditions. And I haven't seen the numbers on how many people finished or didn't finish. But I saw pretty much everybody was kind of just relaxing at the eating stations. Nobody was in a big hurry to get in and out of them, and seemed like everybody had plenty of time to eat, drink, take breaks at the rest areas, at the checkpoints. It didn't seem like anybody was too rushed. We probably could have jogged or ran a little bit more of it. But again, my prior night was not the best night, and I only got like 3.5 hours of sleep before the run, which isn't uncommon. Most people that run these don't get a lot of sleep. And but I wasn't really packed up ready to go very well before I left, and then just been a busy work week and coaching week, so I didn't take that time to do it during the week. And so then when I left my house, I just kind of threw everything in a big suitcase. Thought I'd put it all together at the hotel, which is what I did. But then, due to traffic and the time that I got out of the house, I didn't get into the hotel until, well, then I also had to stop and pick up my bib number and all that. So I didn't get into the hotel until probably 10 o'clock at night. And then to put everything together after that,
500 meters
it ended up being past midnight
gas station.
when I ended
the next
up.
Service area is Chungju Service Area 24 kilometers ahead.
I lost my track of thought. So anyhow, it was after midnight by the time I got to sleep, and then woke up at about 3 o'clock, 3:30, and started the process of getting out of the hotel and going to the race. So it definitely could have been better that way. I think that's what caused some of the fatigue on during the race, that I wasn't well rested, and I really didn't prepare nutrition wise the morning very well. So, but that's that. Let's see, let me come up with some more thoughts and then I'll record those. All right, I thought of a little more to say. For one, it's a very technical run. You have to know where your feet are going at all times. So there's no place to be lazy. Even on the steps that are going down, the run or the rise and the run of each step is not always the same. So it's really hard to see where your foot is going to go, where it needs to go.